Radio. It is a beautiful morning. It's a little windy, but not too bad. It is 10:30. We are sitting here with Steve Damicus, who is actually very interesting. We're going to be talking about chiropractic work. We're going to be talking about a little marketing and wind downs and just a bunch of fun stuff going on here. Thank you very much for coming in, Steve.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Really
Yeah,
excited.
no problem. And then we're sitting here. Sorry, I need more coffee. With Sarah Duke, our Vice President of Media Relations, as well as our Vice President, William Roberts, who William is a current patient of the chiropractic work that we are going to be discussing. So to kind of head this off, I'm just going to take it over to Sarah Duke, our Vice President of Media, and get this started.
Well, good morning. Happy Saturday. Thank you, Steve, for being here with us.
Thank you for the opportunity. Really, really excited.
Oh, this is wonderful. For our listeners, we met a couple months ago. Guy call. It is pretty fabulous. They do chiropractic care through natural living and through corrective care, which is super important. And I love that you have so many locations. You're all over Colorado with 14 different locations. And all of your doctors share the same philosophy that you do. Go into a little bit acupuncture. So it's not only getting out of pain and readjusting, but then it's actually prolonging good health,
100%.
Which is amazing. It's a testament to who you are as a person to actually care about your customer or your person.
Yeah.
So I personally wanted to say thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you.
And it's such an amazing thing, too, because we were talking earlier, food and how you take care of your body, chiropractic work, the list of side effects of medications and what can happen and what really does happen, especially with prolonged use. So just wanted to throw that out there that's just amazing what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's unfortunately America today. I mean, you turn on the TV and the first thing you see is this pharmaceutical ad. But they make it look so amazing. They got this husband and wife walking down on the beach.
On the bicycle.
Exactly. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Until you hear the list of side effects at the end that is longer than the commercial itself. They keep going on and on. It's like, holy cow. But the average American, though, that's what they do. They have, how many side effects is it really causing, which they don't need?
Right.
And people just don't understand that. Your body needs that nutrition from the foods that we eat to the water that we drink. And nobody understands that. The supplements that we take. Everyone thinks, I got a neck pain. I've got a shoulder pain. Let me take this aspirin or Tylenol. And it just masks it. It's a Band-Aid rather than going to the root of the cause and fixing it. Yeah. And that's what we're all about.
Well, it's a quick fix, and there's so much advertising going on there. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I mean, they're going to want the quick fix.
Yes, and the cool thing is America is starting to wake up to this too, especially after the COVID thing and everybody. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and the sad thing is they do not care about your health. Right. They just care about the money.
They want to keep you sicker, so you can take more pills.
100%. Yeah, I've got quite a few testimonies on that too. But do we need to talk a little bit more about chiropractic, or should I go into the past, or what do you want to do?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I for those that are listening, I know we were kind of focusing on the pain.
Yes.
I was taking a look at your website. For those listening, it's naturallivingfoundation.com, and you can find out more information about their different locations, their different doctors. But what I really like is it goes into corrective care specifically, but it actually covers neck pain, back pain, headaches, hip pain, shoulder pain, vertigo, which is really interesting. I didn't know that until I'm actually experiencing vertigo the last last couple of years.
Okay.
Sciatica, which of course, every woman that's ever been pregnant.
It is a pain in the butt.
It is I like it. Well played. It is a pain in the butt.
It is.
And knee pain. So it's not just one location. So which I really like that it's a little more versatile than I think what we know about.
The cool thing is about chiropractic, everybody thinks chiropractic is just for back pain. And it's not. We're able to help out with headaches, migraine headaches, sinus problems. If your shoulder is out of alignment, we can adjust your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your knees, your ankles. Anything with a joint, we can actually adjust. And people do not put that A and B together. And chiropractic, I've been blessed for so long just to be able to promote and experience chiropractic, and how many lives we've helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people understand the healing power of chiropractic and how the body heals itself naturally rather than taking that pharmaceutical. Mm-hmm. And I know the pharmaceutical company doesn't like me today, but that's okay.
We like you. That's what matters.
Thank you.
Exactly.
What made you want to get into this profession?
Well, this started a long time ago. Growing up, one of my best friends, his name is Kevin, he was always a step ahead of everybody else. And when he was younger, he went into a chiropractor because he was sick. And he got adjusted, and then he went home after the adjustment for his first time, and he noticed that he lost his fever. His fever was gone. And he's like, whoa, something has something to do in correlation with that. Mm-hmm. So he started doing a lot of more research on it, and I was very, very intrigued by it. I'm like, holy cow, this is something. And so I was very intrigued by it, and I even was considering going to school to be a chiropractor. And then, so I just graduated from high school in 1992. My world was jumping out in front of me. I'm trying to figure life out, what I want to do. And my dad, growing up, my dad was my best friend and The Rock. And so my dad raced some stock cars, some jalopy cars. They were pretty poor. I mean, they were bottom of the line. It was called enduro cars. And I always wanted to be like Dad. So I just was graduating from high school. And so I was starting to put together my stock car. And so when we had friends out in Hudson, Colorado, out east. And so we went at the very last right before the race was going to happen, I didn't have my roll cage in. So I had friends out in Hudson, Colorado. They're like, hey, Steve, you want to be in this race? Bring out your car. We're going to put the roll cage in it right before the race so you can race this race. This is our gift to you for just graduating high school and being a young kid and having a lot of fun. So I'm like, all right. So I went out to Hudson, Colorado. We put the roll cage in, and we were able to get it together, my car together, but we did not have a trailer for my car. So this is in Farmville, Hudson, Colorado. It's all corn out there, and so we were rednecks. That's what we were. And so I went out. We towed my race car out by a tow strap out to the racetrack. Mm-hmm. And actually, the cool thing is on my very first race, I beat my dad.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. It was
I
really,
bet your
really
dad
cool.
loved that.
Oh, no, I don't know about that. But no, it was a blessing for sure. And so also the gentleman that towed me out to the racetrack, he had a race car also. We had a group, we had about 10 of us. We had 2 or 3 cars out at the same time. It was a group, and we had so much fun. And so we went out to the racetrack, did the race. And so on the way home, we had to tow my car back out to Hudson, Colorado. And so my dad was like, Steve, I jumped in the car. Well, had the tow strap. So I jumped in the car, and my dad was like, you have to put your helmet on, Steve. And I'm like, I'll just wear sunglasses. It's no big deal.
You got to look cool.
Yeah.
You know, exactly.
Yeah. So I got my helmet on, and so I'm being towed back to the farm, my friend's farm. I was going to leave my race car out there for the winter since it was the last race. So this is really embarrassing, but Art, the guy that was towing me, he had to go to the restroom. And we're in Farmville. What do you do back in 1992?
You just, what I do today, you just pull over and...
That's exactly right.
What I did yesterday.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
So, but all it is pure corn outside. So he pulls on over to this corn, and then so there's another set of cars in front of us being towed. So we pull over the shoulder of the highway, and I'm inside of my stock car, and at the same time, this 19-year-old kid, he was out at a bar. I'm not going to say the bar's name, but he was out at a bar, and his sister was serving him at that time. and he blew like a 4.2. But I was on the shoulder of the highway, and he thought he was going to be slick. He was in a full-size Bronco. He started passing cars on the shoulder of the highway. I'm sitting right there. And he's going 98 miles an hour. Excuse me.
Not at all. Did you want to take a break real quick?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I was on the shoulder of the highway, and he was being cool with his. He had a buddy in the car. Well, he slammed me in the back. I was rear-ended from him. He's going 98 miles an hour. I had my friends were their heads were inside of my car talking to me, and thank goodness that they seen the car at the Bronco coming. They pushed him out of the way, but he slammed me. I got slammed into the truck in front of me, and then I went out into the middle of the highway, and I was hit again by another truck. So you see my car. There's absolutely no way I should be here. There's no way. By the grace of God and angels with their hands on me, there's just no way. So I actually, when the paramedics got there, I was gone. And thank God for our medical system today, we do have the best emergency care here in America, which is, thank God for it. But they were able to bring me back, but I was actually in a coma for 6 days from that. And I of course, I don't remember any of this. But when I woke up out of the coma, I didn't even know who my own brother was 6 days later. So I had to learn everything on over again. I was actually in Craig Rehab for 6 months, in and out of Craig Rehab for 6 months. And I was in the prime of my life. I was an athlete. I could play baseball. I could do anything and everything. It just came so naturally. And then I was like, with the brain injury, I didn't realize that I had an injury. And my best friend, Kevin, that actually became a chiropractor, his mom, Mary, which is such a blessing. She's like, Steve, you have a brain injury. She goes, you're an athlete, right? I'm like, yeah. She goes, I'm going to toss you this ball. Can you catch it? I'm like, of course. She tossed it to me, and it hit me in the chest. And then my arms tried to grab it. And I just couldn't put it together. And I was like, I had an excuse for everything, though. I refused to accept that I had this injury.
Right.
And everybody, I don't know if you've seen somebody with a brain injury, but, and there's no one case. Every brain injury is different. And I was in Craig Rehab for in and out of 6 months. And then I got set up with a psychologist. But from the injury, the cool thing is right now you would not know that I have a brain injury. But I started having severe anxiety and panic attacks. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had one, but it's the worst feeling ever. So my psychologist was like, well, Steve, I think you've got a chemical imbalance in your brain, which so many people think that they have today. So they sent me to a psychiatrist. My psychiatrist then put me on anticonvulsants. I went into a grand mal seizure when I was hit, but I've never had another seizure since. But so that's what I'm sorry, I'll rewind a little bit. So he put me on 6 or 7 heavy medications, anticonvulsants, antidepressants. I wasn't depressed at all. I was ready to take over the world. And I was pissed off. But my doctor is like, well, Steve, I had to do weekly checks on my liver and my body. I had to do blood labs. And he's like, well, Steve, I might be overdosing you. Your liver is kind of shutting down. Well, by the grace of God, my friend Kevin, that was going to chiropractic school at that time, he actually came to one of my meetings with the psychiatrist at the time. And he's like, hey, doc, Steve isn't the same guy that he used to be. What the heck is going on? He goes, so Kevin is now being a psychiatrist or working with a psychiatrist with this doctor saying, hey, let's try and wean him off these medications and see what happens. And thank God my psychiatrist was open to that. And I started weaning off the medications. And guess what? Lo and behold, my panic attacks started to decrease less and less and less. And that's when it hit me that, holy cow, medicine, it sucks.
Right.
It's not supposed to be inside of my body. It's a temple of God, and it's not supposed to be inside of my body. So, unfortunately, I went to school 3 different times after that accident, and my aspiration was to become a chiropractor. And unfortunately, with my accident, my memory is terrible, and I could not complete school. So at the same time, my best friend, he became a chiropractor, and he had his own office. He's like, Steve, I've got this idea for you. He goes, you know all about chiropractic. You got a great personality. Do you want to do the marketing for me? I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. So I started. I was in a Walmart, and I had a little booth, and people were walking through Walmart, and I'm like, hey, come get your back checked out. We'll give you an adjustment. And when I first started doing that, I was sending his office 50 to 60 plus patients a week. And a chiropractor, they're blessed to get 2 patients a week.
Right.
And so I blew his walls down. He had to blow his walls down for a high volume practice. And next thing I know, I've got 10, 15 different offices that are wanting to work with me. I'm like, I step back. I'm like, holy cow, this is where it's at. I love living naturally. Your body heals itself natural. And so that's when it came to me. My business is called Natural Living Foundation.
And that is perfect.
Nice. Yeah.
I like that name too.
Thank you.
And it's kind of making something out of exactly what happened when you realized, whoa, something's not right here. Right. Medication is one thing to certain things, but for the majority, it's just the side effects.
There are times and cases where you do need medication.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing that a lot of people don't know, though, is you can fix it with the right supplements, with the right herbs, and through diet, eating the right things. I mean, even eating bread. A lot of people don't realize the chemicals and how bad bread is for you. Mm-hmm. And if you get rid of that, if you get rid of gluten, your body starts changing and living the way that it should be.
Yeah. Diet is definitely huge. We're going to take a real quick break right here. We'll be right back with Steve Damicus. You're listening to K4C.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to a special Saturday with K4CO Radio. We have an exclusive interview here this morning. We have been chatting with Steve. He is the owner of Natural Living Foundation. If you want to find out more information, please visit his website, naturallivingfoundation.com. They are chiropractors, and they have 14 different locations all over the state of Colorado, and they help alleviate pain, headaches, vertigo through corrective care. So we've been talking with him. Thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
That kind of made me quiet. It did. It made me very reflective of how our personal journeys are so impactful on who we become. And I truly don't believe in coincidences. I feel like things happen for a reason, and why we get connected to who we are connected to. So I appreciate you kind of bearing your soul a little bit and sharing your story.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and for everyone listening too. Thank you for listening.
Absolutely. And I love that we have Robbie here. He's our vice president of K4CO Radio, and he's here, and he's actually been at the Arvada location, I believe, with one of the doctors. Do you want to share your experience, Robbie?
Yeah. Well, I want to go back a lot of years, how I got acquainted with all this.
Oh,
Yes,
definitely.
Well, after the war, I had some injuries during the war, and that kind of went away. Oh, I'd say when I was about 35 years old, I'd be walking, doing whatever I'm doing in business. Inadvertently, a pain would go through the center of my chest that would almost drop me on the floor. I went to every hospital, had every test done. Finally, UCLA told me it was in my head.
Of course.
Somebody said, I want you to go to see this woman who was a chiropractor. She took 2 x-rays, came back and said, there's nothing wrong with your head, honey. And then she showed me and started doing mid-thoracic adjustments and so forth, and the neck adjustments.
Yes.
I went through 2 treatments to 3 treatments for about 2 or 3 months.
Yep.
Completely went away. 40 years ago, never came back.
I love it.
And I said, I am sold. I mean, it was, I was scared to death. We thought my heart was going to stop.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing is, if you have a pain anywhere, even in your head, don't isolate it, because doctor told me what's happening is that was the mid-thoracic, but hitting the nerves in a certain direction or through it into where my heart is.
Yep.
So it mimicked a heart attack.
Yep.
And because you're kind of upset and you're going, oh no, oh, then you kind of hyperventilate, so then you think it is stopping, you know. No, I went through hell for about 3 months until I went to a chiropractor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how many thousands of millions of people are in your same exact spot then?
Absolutely.
And they go to the medical doctor,
Yep.
and they give them a pill for it.
Yep.
And the cool thing about chiropractic, which people don't understand, is we call it a subluxation, and what that is a misalignment of the vertebrae, and the nerves inside of that coming out of the spine actually become pinched.
Yep.
And of course, when that is the first symptom, when that happens, is pain. Everybody feels a pain, but if you think about it, what now is happening to that organ that nerve is going to? Can that organ work in the way that God intended?
Right.
Not a chance. So what all of our doctors do is find exactly where that misalignment is at, and they'll put you back in alignment, which is called an adjustment, putting it back in alignment. So we're not only taking the pressure off of that nerve, and yep,
Because when you shut the nerves off, that feeds the muscles. So you start getting weaker, you're losing muscles, and you go, oh man, what did you do?
yeah. That's a great story, though. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And Robbie, you went to actually Natural Living though a couple months ago. You went to their location and you said they had some kind of cool techniques. What were they doing for you? Were they stretching you?
I remember you telling me
Well,
like
yeah,
a vice or something.
What they're doing now, and just a couple of days ago, I called it the 18th century torture table. Where they strap you in, and I don't know what this machine's called. I'm sure you
Decompression
do.
table.
Yeah. So it slowly, you hear the machine going, and you go, and it's stretching you apart. You know, so, and then the other one is a traction.
Yes.
Where they put tension here and tension here.
On your chin in the
So
back of
they're
your
like
head.
Yes.
pulling my neck up where it's supposed to be for 10 minutes. I mean, and they ask you, I love it. I'm having a ball doing it.
You love
When I
torture.
went in there, I had to laugh. I go, you sure I'm not being tortured? So anyway, they pull it up and you're just sitting there, and afterwards, I mean, you feel the difference in your head.
Yes.
You can feel more blood. I walk out of there totally alert and beats a cup of coffee. You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. And then they also have some other maneuvers they haven't even started. I'm on the program to get fixed.
Awesome.
I'm
I
on,
love
the
it.
full-blown thing. But the adjustments, the decompression, and the neck thing is where I'm at right now, and we're adding more as we go.
I love it. I love it. And that's the cool thing about all of our doctors. We are corrective care, and everybody has heard chiropractors are quacks. I went and got adjusted once, and it didn't work.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, everybody wants a quick fix. That's why medication is so popular.
You're
That's why
exactly
they
right.
call
you know.
pills.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then they
You
blow
know.
their livers out.
Yeah,
So,
and exactly. So all of our doctors with corrective care, of course, the injury has been lingering for years, or maybe weeks, months, years, and unfortunately, it's not going to take one adjustment. We're going to get you back.
Right.
The difference is we're going to get you back into alignment. It's going to take us several adjustments to get you back in alignment, but the difference about our chiropractors is we're going to start giving you exercises, modalities to help keep you in alignment when you're done.
yes.
And we will adjust. We'll figure out the best plan for you, and then after we get you back in alignment, I get adjusted once a week from after my accident. If I didn't get adjusted once a week, I know that I'd be on tons of pain medication, or had surgery, or even if I'd still be alive right now, to be honest with you. So that's a great testimony. And but with the Natural Living Foundation, you're not going to be able to find a better doctor here in Colorado than the ones that we have. And the cool thing is I've negotiated with all of our doctors what we do provide. If anyone is listening right now, and if you're interested, we provide the consultation, full medical evaluation on we're going to give you the first 2 visits in our office. The first visit is a consultation, full medical evaluation and diagnostics. We're going to bring you back We're going to show you exactly where you're out of alignment and how to adjust you. And then we're going to give you a full body adjustment specifically for you, only $45. It's normally $300 for the same exact package. All of my doctors have agreed to do it for $45.
Yeah.
And
I was amazed, actually.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, a lot of our doctors do work with insurance, so we were able to work with your insurance. And if we're not able to, we do have cash plans that's super affordable. We're going to make it work for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I also find it interesting after talking to your doctors. All those alignments, every time you do them, whether it's the stretching, the cracking, or whatever it is, in those areas, the problem areas, slowly, like we said, over time, it actually builds in between those joints and actually heals those joints.
Absolutely.
And I mean, what better fix can you get than that?
The cool thing is your body heals itself naturally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't need those pharmaceutical drugs to do it. I mean, if you cut, God made an amazing body. The cool thing is if you cut your arm, you don't have to tell your arm, start sending white blood platelets to cover that up. Your body knows how to do it.
Right. Exactly.
And that's so cool. But the average American, they just don't put that together. So we've been blessed to learn that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that documentary, Super Size Me, where the guy just ate straight fast food for a month, and the doctor's like, dude, you're gonna die now.
That's really cool.
And all you have to do is stop doing that, and your body will start healing itself. But then there's also ways to, just...
Well, and that's interesting too, because I've done that before. Like even now, because for years, my diet and that, and I work out every day. If I eat something really bad for you, well, part of it's mental, part of it, okay, I just screwed up. But in all honesty, I don't feel good. I feel like I got a big bubble in my belly.
Why does all the bad food have to taste so good?
Right?
It's not cool.
Oh, man.
I can still have a donut or chocolate. I mean,
Exactly. I can do a little bit, but man, if I eat fast
Right.
food, I'm out for the count for like 3 days.
yeah.
It is, yeah.
It tastes so good.
Oh, it does.
For a brief moment, and then it's immediate regret.
Exactly.
Well, it's been 2 minutes, and what did I just do?
Yep.
It is if we take care of ourselves. What I love that you brought up, Steve, and I think a lot of people, and I am one of those people who didn't realize this is kind of common sense if you think about it. Most of our organs are in our midsection, right? Mm-hmm. It's from your torso to your belly button. That is your majority of organs. All of those are functioning together, independently, yes, but you have all of the nerves. And when I went to a chiropractor, I was going through IVF, and I could not understand what was going on with my lower back. So the chiropractor, I did an x-ray, and they're like, well, you have a little bit of your disc issue. And they explained all of these nerve endings are not getting where it needs to go to my organs. And I had no idea that a fix of the spine can now get blood flow, which is what Robbie was talking about. I mean, your body, like you said, heals naturally.
Yes.
But if you can do like a minor adjustment and do the x-ray and say, here's all you need to do. Come in for, 5-10 treatments. We'll keep kind of bumping you around a little bit.
Exactly, yeah.
And the more it goes on, the better you feel. It's like, wow. I mean, very seriously.
Pain-free.
It feels like it feels like I actually feel 10 years younger when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I love
on
that.
my movements, on my balance, everything. Like it affect my balance. You know this.
Oh, yeah.
I was stumbling.
Absolutely.
When we went up to the lake that one time. Everything in front of me I was stumbling on.
Absolutely.
No, it's so embarrassed. I go, wow, man, I got to do something about that.
And one of my best analogies that I like to use too, though, is when you are out of alignment, if you leave it out of alignment, those discs are actually going to start to degenerate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same exact thing with your car tires. If you leave your car tires out of alignment, what happens to those tires?
Yep.
Right.
They wear down.
In the wrong way.
Exactly.
Yep.
So if you start losing that disc, which a lot of people have going on, when that disc goes away, guess what happens? It starts going bone on bone, and guess what's next?
Yep.
Surgery.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Be proactive.
Absolutely.
That is I love telling people that. If you are in pain, listen to your body.
100%. And nobody does anymore.
Nobody, it's very rare. And why we suffer through the pain.
Yeah.
Say, I'm going to muscle through it. Why?
Exactly.
I can speak for myself. I'm a tad stubborn at moments.
That's human nature. That's what we all
It
are.
is. And it's, we minimize or just say it's not that bad or I don't
Right.
want to go through it. But so why we tend to suffer for a long period of time
Exactly.
when there's a fix there.
And a lot of people think too, well, I don't have time to go to the chiropractor. It's going to take an extra 15, 20, 30 minutes out of my day. I don't have time. That's the cool thing about all of our doctors too, is it takes generally about 5 to 10 minutes for the complete adjustment. We're not going to keep you in there
Right.
and keep working on you. We're going to get you back in alignment and get you out to where you can go do the rest of your day. I mean, everybody's just so crunched. Everybody's so busy today.
And you're so flexible. I mean,
Yes.
when I go in them a lot, I'm really busy too. Every time I call them, I say, you know what, something just popped up. Can't come in. Bingo. They just sit there and they go, well, the next available, done. Fax it to me. I love your office. It's amazing.
Thank you.
And that's awesome too. And that's another fun thing I just want to bring up real quick is the doctor that I'm seeing right now did blood work, sent it out to the lab, right? They received the blood work back, and I called to say, well, can you email those results to me? Can you tell me the results? They're just like, no, it's got to be cleared through your doctor. I'm like, it's my blood.
What the?
Because there needed to be another phone call, I'm sure. Another phone call, another visit to bill the insurance, to get some more money. It's like, it's my blood, just tell me what the results are.
Exactly.
It's like, this is unbelievable. But going through, I think Sarah was saying, and I want to reiterate, you said, the body will heal itself.
It does.
But you gotta give it the right attention, the right parameters, yeah, exactly. Because suffer through the pain,
Right.
your body's not going to heal itself if you don't give it the right environment
Exactly.
to heal itself.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Well, we're going to take another break real quick here, and we'll be right back. We're speaking with Steve Damicus, and this is with Natural Living.
Good morning, Colorado. Thank you for tuning in to our special interview. We have been chatting with Steve with Natural Living Foundation. Thank you again for being here and sharing your story and everything that you are doing through corrective care, through chiropractic care. I know early on I mentioned that you had 14 locations. I wanted for those listening, if you are in Colorado, no more excuses. You have a spot close to you, go do it. So they are in Arvada, Aurora, Broomfield, Centennial, Denver, Cherry Creek, Glendale, Stapleton, DTC, Greenwood Village, Lone Tree, North Glen, Thornton, and Westminster.
That's
So
amazing, yeah.
that is pretty awesome.
That's a wide
Like
footprint.
it's so amazing, and
It's
that's
just a start.
I love that too.
And with the
That's such a
start,
beginning.
especially to check it out and get all of that for $50,
Right.
Just to kind of get your foot in the door, I mean, I think is just absolutely, worth it. I mean,
we dropped $50 on a burger and fries now.
these days, exactly.
Seriously.
Exactly, it's nuts.
That is true.
Or eggs. It's Easter weekend,
We did that again this morning. Okay. So if you're listening, you have neck pain, back pain, headaches, vertigo, sciatica pain, anything, please go and check them out. naturallivingfoundation.com. And Steve, I know you wanted to share about another success story.
Yeah, this is when so my journey was, I was marketing for all these chiropractors, and then I had the pleasure of meeting one of my best friends, Dr. Aaron Hancock. His office was off of Park Road in Bellevue, just right up the street. And we had a patient, well, actually, I met Dr. Hancock at one of my events that I was doing, one of my screenings, and he was working with another chiropractor, and we just started talking, and he's like, Steve, I'd like to open up my own practice. And I said, well, I'd love to own a chiropractic office too. I know all about marketing. You know all about chiropractic. Do you want to join? And lo and behold, next thing I know, I'm the owner of a chiropractic office. And I was working with him, and we had the opportunity of meeting Carla. She was, when she was an infant, she fell out of the shopping cart. They're at a grocery store. She fell out of a shopping cart and fell right onto her head and compressed the atlas quite a bit. Well, Carla, after that, she started having 50 to 100 epileptic seizures in a day. I mean, literally, like every 10 seconds, she would go into a seizure.
God.
Yeah. So she was seeing a neurologist, and The doctor was like, well, she was on tons and tons of medications, and they were getting ready to do exploratory brain surgery on her because they cannot control the seizures. So the family didn't speak that good of English, but they were they were told to come try chiropractic. So they came into our office, and Dr. Hancock was able to adjust her. And after her first adjustment, you seen a bright light come into her eyes. And she did have a seizure on the table, but she went home. It had been 15 minutes till she had her next seizure. And her parents let us know, they're like, what the heck is going on? She always has a seizure. There's some kind of correlation. Mm-hmm. So we started adjusting her actually 2 times a day. I'm big time adjusting her. And so we started seeing her. Well, lo and behold, guess what started happening? Her seizures started to decrease less and less. So she was on all these medications, and she went into her neurologist, and he jumped out of his chair. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Carla, you look amazing." He goes, "I knew it. If you were to stay on those medications, you'd be fine." And like, well, sorry, Doc. We actually got rid of all those medications. We've been seeing a chiropractor, and he flipped out. He turned her parents into social services.
Oh my gosh.
They said that they're putting her life at risk for not being on these medications. So we got her set up with a new neurologist, and he says, "I don't know what chiropractic has to do with seizures, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it."
Right.
And God bless her, she's seizure free now.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I believe she's like 12 years old now. We've changed her life. That one testimony in my life is well worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
is.
especially if she was going to went through with brain surgery.
yes,
and everything.
can you imagine?
What
There's
medication
permanent
she'd be on?
damage
What
right there,
exactly? Yeah.
Wow. I'm so glad that you actually mentioned that. What a powerful story.
Yeah.
Yes.
How old was she when you started?
She was 5 or 6 years old.
5 or 6?
Wow.
Okay. I think that's important piece of what you all do. I think I had it in my mind a certain age group, but you had mentioned, I mean, this is really a family practice. You know, it's
100%.
not just, hey, mom and dad's listening, bring in your kiddos, especially if they're doing anything athletic, which I think
absolutely.
most kids are, to start young and be proactive.
And a lot of people don't even put 2 and 2 together, but even after birth, how traumatic is it for the baby to come out of the birthing canal, and then they put the forceps on the baby's head and pulls the baby's head out of the birthing canal? Mm-hmm. That baby is getting subluxated right then. Mm-hmm. So if you start adjusting the baby, and it's a light force with your pinkies, you barely put that baby's spine back
You
in
can
alignment.
adjust babies?
Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. Yeah.
absolutely.
That's-
And I'll pop in with an interesting short story. My son, when he was born, he had one leg that started, it was like kind of twisting in.
Absolutely.
You could see. I took him to the chiropractor that fixed me. She looked at him, and she had me do it at home, and she did it in the office twice a week. Just a certain massage and cracking his little knee here, bones and stuff. Mm-hmm. After 3 months, legs perfectly straight.
Just started working the right way, the right
Absolutely.
direction.
Even from, your baby's having colic, chronic ear infections, and so forth. People they don't put it together.
Yeah.
You put the spine back in alignment, take the pressure off those nerves. Your body is going to heal itself naturally. And the cool thing about kids, they heal a lot quicker than you and I.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. They bounce back so quick, and they're a lot better patients than you and I are. But, yeah.
That is so true. My
Absolutely.
son was 1.5 years, and he had open heart surgery.
Oh my gosh.
And 1 week, that kid was up and down the hallways in the hospital. I'm like, this is what? How are you doing this? I
the
would
thing is-
be out for the count.
We sleep wrong, and we're in bed
Pain for-
we're in
for-
pain for like 10 days. I'm like, come on.
Exactly. One thing that I wanted you to talk about a little bit, Steve, is you are so involved in the community,
Yes.
which is pretty amazing. You're very personable. You want to get out and you truly want to help people, and you are helping people. What type of events are you doing in the community?
So what happened was I would go out to all the events, such as the Home and Garden Show, to the golf expo, and I'm that annoying guy that when you walk on by, hey, want to get your back checked out, get an adjustment. So trying to get into all the events was always a challenge for me, and to stay busy with it. So with the help of my best friend, Kevin, he's actually my business coach also. And so I started a new business. It's called Denver NLF for Natural Living Foundation, DenverNLFEvents.com. We came up with an idea. It's called Wine Down with Us. So what we do is we go into our luxury apartment complexes. I serve the apartment tenants free wine and free food, and then I bring vendors along with us.
Which wine is pretty healthy too.
Hey, it is.
Exactly.
It's a lot better than beer.
Every-
But I like beer too. But
Everything in moderation, boys.
exactly.
Not a bottle of it, but a little bit of it is pretty good.
Depends on the size of the bottle, but
Very true. Because those airplane wines, I think are good.
yeah. So it's been such a blessing. Actually, it started out with I started a farmers market with my coach. We started a farmers market out in Broomfield. So I started an events company. I started doing farmers markets, wine downs, and then a craft fair. But my farmers markets, we got it up and going. Unfortunately, the church got new leadership, started button heads, and we didn't work on it out. I'm like, God, why didn't you want me in this farmers market? Well, I also started the wine downs at the same time. Mm-hmm. And if I wasn't kicked out of that farmers market, I wouldn't have been able to spend as much as time and energy on the wine downs to get these up and going where they need to be. So I've now focused on these, and my life has changed. And the cool thing is about it is I bring along vendors such as we have karate studios, we have dentists, I have El Dorado Water that comes along with us. I have a bunch of different small little businesses that want to get out and promote their business. And by far, I've been doing marketing for 20 years now, and this is the most effective and best way you're going to meet as many people possible by doing these events. So if you do own, if you're in real estate, if you are in insurance, we have banks that join us. It's just such a blessing to be able to help people on out. Being a small business owner, and that's what the rock of is America today, is small business. Mm-hmm. And everybody thinks these mom and pops put food on their table for their kids, and it's changed my life. It's changed it for the better. And so when I was also doing this, I also went to, it was called the Fall Frenzy Craft Fair. And I met this lady, and I would always go and visit her. She had the best jalapeno jelly that I went to that for like 8 years. I was participating in her event, and she was the owner. So I said, you know what? I'm going to talk to her. I want to start a craft fair at my church that I had my farmers market at. And I said, hey, would you mind if can we talk about opening one up? And she goes, well, I've got this opportunity for you, Steve. My husband just was diagnosed with cancer. I'm moving to California. She goes, do you want to buy this craft fair for me? I'm like, heck yeah. So I went ahead and bought it. And we just had it on this past December 2nd, a couple months ago. And everything taught me from the farmers market to the wine downs how to do this craft fair. And when I was working the craft fair, I put all my marketing behind it and all my marketing knowledge behind it. And that's actually where I got to meet you at. Mm-hmm. It blew me away that I had a radio station that wanted to do a live broadcast at my craft fair. I'm like, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me? So I started the craft fair, and we hit a grand slam with it. We had over 1,500 people come through, 180 vendors. I was sold out of vendors. It was unbelievable. It's at the Arapahoe County Fairgrounds, and we're actually going to have it again this year.
Oh, you are?
Yes. The end of November, the weekend of Thanksgiving.
Nice.
We're going to have it. So I started DenverNLFEvents.com. So if you're a small business owner, if you're trying to figure out how to get across to as many people most effectively and cost efficient, go to my website, DenverNLFEvents.com. And I am running a special right now, 50% off of your first event with us too.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was taking a look. You have 3 actually in April. Just very cool. April 11th in Cherry Creek, the 18th at Gables Vista, and then the 26th will be in Lone Tree. So we'll make sure for those listening, we're going to have it on our Facebook site as well,
Thank
with
you.
all of this, of course, for all of this information. And of course, more about your business specifically. So thank you for being in the community. That
Absolutely.
is what we stand for. It's what you stand for. I think getting people involved and helping lift. That's my dad's most favorite phrase is if we all do
I
a little
love
bit of
that.
lifting, we're all going to help each other. And I've adopted that and kind of stolen that philosophy a
Right.
little because it's incredibly so true.
Right. And I just want to share with you real quick too. My journey in life, it's putting a big puzzle together. I've tried so many different small businesses. Just growing up, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur forever, but I've tried so many small businesses, just trying to put the puzzles of life together. And I'm at the point right now where the puzzle's almost together, but what is in store for us next? I'm just being so blessed by this, by the grace of God. I mean, and what hurt me for so long though is after my accident, I'd look up at God. I'm like, God, why? Why did you allow that to happen to me? I don't understand. Well, after I've been putting these puzzles of life together, I'm in this situation now where I can actually speak to people and they get what I'm talking about. And the puzzle, it's amazing. I can't express enough the gratitude that I see when somebody understands not only just chiropractic, but when somebody works, the puzzle of life is coming together. And I wouldn't be in this position right now if I wasn't hit by that drunk driver.
True.
And how many people positively can we affect? And that's what life's all about, right? Is how many people can you affect positively? And so that's where I'm at right now.
Well, you took what happened and you kept moving forward. In fact, you elevated, and that's what life is about, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I got to mention one more time. If you go to my website, DenverNLFevents.com, my partner, my coach, Kevin, he has a business event. He mentor Elevate. It's called Elevate. We have a class coming on up April 5th, Friday, April 5th, next Friday. So if you go to my website, if you're a small business, an entrepreneur, if you want to learn about business, please come to this event. I guarantee you, it changed my life working with him. I wouldn't be here without him. But if you want to learn how to go to the next level, which I'm doing now, I'm blessed. And but if you want to learn how to go to the next level, I invite you to come and learn. You will be blessed too. I guarantee it.
And where is this?
It's going to be in Broomfield.
Broomfield. Okay.
Yes, yeah. But if you have any small business, he specializes in chiropractic coaching. Not only chiropractic, he's just blessed. He knows how to do business, and that's the thing. And when you go to school, you like chiropractors. We go to school for chiropractic. They don't teach us about business and chiropractic.
Right.
He knows business, and he knows it in and out. And I participated in one of his classes yesterday, and it was so awesome. I learned so much. Our group is amazing, and I'm going to invite you, the both of you, to come and join us at least once. It'll change your life, I guarantee you.
And what's interesting about that is even people who go to school for business, they get some nice building blocks, but they still don't know business. You don't know until you're actually thrown into it, doing it for a while. That's when you learn.
When you get your
learn
butt
by
kicked.
doing, not by, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, all of us have gotten our butt kicked in business. I mean, it's not easy, especially with COVID.
Right.
Believe it or not, after COVID, I didn't know what I was going to do. I started hanging Christmas lights for people. I became a handyman and I was hanging Christmas lights. I started sliding down a roof, and I had to grab the side. I'm like, what the heck are you doing, Steve? So, but yeah, that was the craziest time of my life. But yeah, I mean, just keep swinging. That's my motto in life.
Yep.
Keep swinging. You're going to have so many obstacles thrown at you. But if you stop swinging, that's when you're done.
Yeah.
You can't stop swinging, because when you stop, I mean, I haven't stopped swinging, and I'm blessed. And just really excited to share that with everyone. Just don't stop swinging.
Right. Exactly.
Agreed.
And those obstacles you learn the most from. You don't learn from success in life. You learn from failure.
100%.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth. I like it. Well, thank you, Steve. Again, for
Yes.
those that are listening, you can find more information from his website, naturallivingfoundation.com. And their phone number is 303 589-4232. And again, I'm going to list the office locations because this is amazing. Like if you're listening in
big
Colorado, exactly. You don't have an excuse. Like that's what I'm telling people.
Especially for $50.
Exactly. $50 to feel better?
Seriously.
Like, give me a
Just
break.
to get your foot in the door. Yeah.
Yes.
Skip that Big Mac today. Get adjusted.
100%. 110%. Yes. So you have locations in Arvada, Aurora, Broomfield, Centennial, Denver, Cherry Creek, Glendale, Stapleton, DTC, Greenwood Village, Lone Tree, North Glen, Thornton, and Westminster. That's so amazing.
That's a lot.
So yes, go check him out, Natural Living Foundation, and the events that you all are doing are absolutely just fabulous. These wind down events, again, bringing community together. Thank you for including small businesses,
Absolutely.
entrepreneurs, and helping with the lifting.
And any small businesses or anybody that wants to kind of get into these events, maybe see about that, they can just go to the website denvernlfevents.com, right?
That is correct.
Okay, they can just
That
reach
is
out to you
correct,
there.
yeah.
Perfect.
And you all can find more information on K4CO Radio as well.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
be posting on Facebook. So reach out to us, reach out to Steve. We are here to help you.
And like you said, everything happens for a reason. I know I met you both for a reason, and definitely blessed. So thank you.
We
Thank you.
feel the same way.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, with that, everybody, have a wonderful, happy Easter weekend.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And thanks, Steve, for coming in.
Yeah,
for the
Steve,
opportunity.
Thanks a lot.
Take care. A lot of great music coming at you. This is K4.